Hi, I want to talk about freedom. Americans love to claim that we are for freedom, but that's not exactly true. So, what do I mean by that? Now, I'm going to talk about our past, present, and future. In our past, we have enslaved different races, and that was not that long ago. We continuously are racist and sexist to women and gays. Now, I'm married to my wife, a white male, and I am still financially discriminated tons because of how I choose to live my life. Me and my wife are fined over $350,000 in our lifetime for a couple of reasons. We choose to be childless. So, we try to live within our means, and I don't want to overpopulate the human overpopulation crisis. All of time to 1800, 1 billion people. Only 250 years later, by 2050, we are estimated to be at 10 billion. Deforestation, wildlife cut in half, endangered species, overfishing, now sick fish farms as factory farms of billions of force-bred animals. Pollution, landfills, and much, much more. You can disagree on all that, even though they're mostly facts. But if you're for freedom, I shouldn't be fined the opposite of what China did and people were outraged because of how I choose to live my life. Socialist public schools. We have $6,000 stolen per year between my house in Texas and my wife's house in New York. $6,000 per year stolen every year. 10 years, that's $60,000. And that's after income tax, so it's more like $8,000 a year. Child tax credits. Most people get $2,000 per kid currently. You're talking about $12,000 a year that we are discriminated. Paid paternity leave. Family health care plans. I had to go off my wife's health care plan because they were gouging us because a family is 2 people or more. It's the same price for 2 people as if you have like 10 kids or 4 kids or 3 kids or 2 kids. You would pay the same price as me and my wife. That's financial discrimination. I had to get off her health care and I don't have health care now. Thank you. But I can pay for your kids and their socialist schools. That's not freedom for exercising our choice to not have kids. And women to simply remove what they want from their bodies too. That's not freedom. That's almost like forcing something upon them. People can remove what they want from their bodies. I believe in leaving women and animals alone. My next point. Freedom. I choose to be vegan because I don't want to abuse animals and I want to be healthy. But the government says you are going to fund it via the USDA Farm Bill. That's why meat is so cheap. Despite being very labor and resource intensive, most of our crops feed force-bred animals and they're pooped out. They're crapped out. It takes up to 12 pounds of crops for 1 pound of meat. So how is a salad about $10 a pound and meat, a bucket of chicken wings can be $1 a pound, $2 a pound? Insane. So that's discrimination or favoring one business over another, fake capitalism. But we know that capitalism needs to be bailed out every 10 years from the Bush era to COVID by socialism. But I consider myself libertarian for smaller government overall. But I am for free birth control because it saves taxpayers tons, lowers termination rates, and prevents overpopulation. Win, win, win. But religion does not have logic, so opposes it. But I am fined because we choose to be vegan. You're forcing us to fund other people's dead animals, raped, force bred for your scary dairy lookup videos on factory farms, for your utter sucking, and your addiction to cooked corpses. I am forced to fund, and you forced animals in tiny cages the size of a file drawer for birds for egg production, or female birds, period. and you debeak them, throw the baby chicks in grinders if they're male, because when you're breeding for more females, they're useless to the industry. It's a different breed. They're not suckily bred to grow big fast enough to be profitable. You're forcing breeding them, literally, female cows, taking away their infants after born, turning them into veal after putting in veal crates in many cases, and hooking up the machines to suck the bodily fluids out of them, made for their babies, not an adult human. Utter sucker. So your eggs are forcing others. Your dairy, scary dairy, and your factory farmed animals, castrating pigs, tail and ear docking, debeaking, drugging, and much, much more, and caging. Horrible. You're forcing yourselves on animals and making me fund it, forcing me to fund it as well. And you said that we force our beliefs on you? Yeah, right. You're forcing it on us and animals. I leave women and animals alone. I'm for women's rights, animals' rights, civil rights. All via smaller government. Not the perverted kind like conservatives want. So we are financially discriminated, forced to fund it via the USDA Farm Bill, thus altering our entire food system, healthcare system. So we are not about freedom. From slavery, sexism, gays and women, to even childless people, as me and my wife, to animal cruelty and animal rights. So we are not about freedom. Thank you, you share if you care. America, you need to do better about freedom of choice.